For a challenge, I wanted to survive as a pacifist in Project Zomboid. I knew surviving for a whole month without being allowed to harm the zombie hordes would be as hard as beating my self-diagnosed depression. But I made it even harder by creating the weakest Project Zomboid character ever. Obese, feeble, stupid, cowardly turd of a human being, Weakman was the exact opposite of someone that can survive the zombie apocalypse. But I knew that with the power of addiction to prescription medication and copious amounts of alcohol, even Weakman could stand a chance, and so his journey began in Muldra on standard apocalypse settings. I spawned in instantly frightened and over-encumbered, so I dropped the pistol and ammo I was carrying because remember, I was not allowed to hurt a single zombie in this playthrough. If I did, it was game over, man, game over. Everything outside was fuzzy because I was short-sighted and Weakman somehow lost his glasses, truly getting into that Welma character. I explored my starting house, finding some food, a bandage, some prescription drugs, and then I did this.
Oh, I burned the bacon. How did I manage to do that so fast?
Should have watched the cooking show first, although to be honest, no cooking show is gonna save you if your ass can't even cook bacon. I also learned more about carpentry from the TV, which was hugely important, as I knew barricading my house would be a major asset in my continued pacifist life. Luckily, there was a tall fence on 3 sides of my house, but since I burned my only food, it was now time to explore.
There's definitely zombie-shaped things out there.
One instantly spotted me, showing my sneaking skills were on par with the quality of Twitter since Musk let that sink in. Now usually a lone zombie would be an easy kill, but I wasn't allowed to hurt it, so I tried to ditch it in the forest. I only partially succeeded, but what I found in a nearby shed made my survival chances instantly skyrocket.
Having a hammer and some nails is a huge find, to be honest.
At this point I was already out of breath, so I let that zombie bang just to realize there was a lady that came to bang at my front door. So I invited her to bang the other Zed so they could bang together in peace.
Oh shit, there's a third one. There's a third one in the woods.
Weakman clearly wasn't a very good pimp, but give him some time, it was only his first day on the job.
Come on, Weakman. You got this, buddy. He does not got this.
I eventually managed to lose the hose in the woods and I spent the rest of the evening chilling in front of the TV. I woke up just in time for another carpentry episode that got me to level 1, which meant I now had the ability to completely barricade myself upstairs in case of an emergency, but more about that later. For now, I was very hungry and in need of a smoke, so I embraced my inner Dora and went to explore. I was again instantly spotted and I realized sneaking was as useful as a roof made of sodium-infused tiles.
Oh boy, that's a lot over here.
Even though the streets were packed tighter than an oversized model in fishnets, I soon spotted a treasure waiting to be pilfered.
Grab the bag, grab the bag! Fuck!
Alas, I did not get the bag. In fact, all I got was a horde of Zeds sniffing my ass, and let's just say, my ass smelled bad, so I decided to try to ditch them, which didn't go quite as I imagined.
Dude! You need to jump it? Oh, fuck.
Weakman truly was weak, and if I didn't know better, I think he was Polish, for he exhibited all the trademark signs of a Polish fanboy, but I digress. I actually managed to sneak into a nearby house, where Weakman embraced his inner cookie monster and ate everything he couldn't carry. I even got a wristwatch from a toilet corpse and found more tools in the basement. At this point, I was tired and over-encumbered, so I knew it was time to sneak back home for a well-deserved prescription drugs-infused evening break, which I spent playing Warhammer 40,000 Tacticus, the sponsor of today's video. Immerse yourself in the exhilarating world of Tacticus, where strategic warfare meets heart-pounding action right at your fingertips. Command and guide over 80 iconic champions hailing from 18 diverse factions within the legendary Warhammer 40,000 universe, which I absolutely love because every chance I get to take revenge on the wolves for what they did to Prospero is a good one. Sure, 10,000 years might have passed since Tiska burned, but I still stand by it. With champions like the mighty Azek Ahriman at the height of his power, you can engage in fierce battle against formidable foes or collaborate with fellow players to outwit your adversaries in intense showdowns. And if you only recently discovered the glorious universe of Warhammer by slaying copious amounts of Tyranids, you'll rejoice at the ability to continue your adventures by playing Titus, a champion of Ultramarines. Tacticus boasts an impressive average rating of 4.5 stars across app stores, and it stands as the ultimate choice for aficionados seeking top-tier tactical gameplay experiences. You can download this officially licensed Games Workshop game for free today by clicking on the link in the description below or by scanning the QR code seen on the screen. When you log in, make sure to use the code HELLOFAB to get a huge reward of 2,000 gold and 50 Blackstone and get yourself a big head start. Now, let's get back to not slaying zombies. The next morning, I tried sneaking to the neighbor's house in hopes of finding some more food, but the house was fully infested and so were the garages and shacks nearby, but not everything was bad.
Oh, there's a beef patty. Oh, let's go. Found a beef patty.
It turned out the whole street was infested, and at this point it seemed completely impossible that Weakman could ever be safe here. But I promise you, by the end of this video, I'll make this neighborhood the safest in Project Zomboid, and to do that, I'll use my masturbating skills, a lot of hard wood, and a pinch of luck. Alas, for now, all I could do was use Weakman as bait.
Let's try to lose them. No, don't fall, buddy. Okay, he's good. He's good. He just lost his head.
I managed to lose them in the woods, so I could go work out and watch TV while popping the pills. Basically, your everyday college experience. Weakman was starting to feel pretty rough at this point due to eating stale food and going through a tough abstinential crisis on account of not smoking for the last few days. So there was nothing else to do but sneak back out there where I played the old switcheroo with a neighbor, and since I won, I was well rewarded.
Oh, let's grab everything. Quickly before more zombies come.
More zombies did come soon, so I huffed and puffed it back home, where I could actually make a proper sandwich, which I then enjoyed with a carpentry show.
Hey, let's go. Level 2 in carpentry. I'm a freaking pro now.
Now I knew a helicopter was bound to show up soon, so I added an escape rope to my bathroom window in case I needed a quick way out, and I tested it.
Wow, you are slow, buddy. Oh, you fell. I don't think this escape rope is gonna work well.
Falling down was definitely a quick way out. Alas, I wasn't quite convinced it was the safest. On day 5, I decided to risk it and go for that trauma bag, which was stupid, like mistaking a real woman for a fanboy and turning on the Sigma Riz.
Can I take it? Can I take it? I cannot take it. Fucking hell, that was close.
The streets were just as infested as the clowns that run Space Station 13 are brain dead, but I managed to lead them away from the ambulance and sprint in for the win.
Come on. Let's go, we got it.
I did have a slight issue of about 1,000,000 Zeds on my ass again, and since I wasn't allowed to kill them, I circled further west and ditched them in the forest. I stopped to pat my 2 chicken necks, for they were doing the Lord's work.
They were laying a lot of eggs, look at this.
I then tried to use my sheet rope to get back up, alas.
I don't think climbing on the sheet ropes is gonna be a thing for a weak man. Oh my god, he just falls down, poor guy.
Muscle strain went into the red faster than my car got stolen when I parked it on an open street in Sarajevo. But it took more than a strained muscle to stop Weakman, and I spent the rest of the day dismantling wooden furniture for planks and nails, because I knew if I can't use the escape ropes, then I'll have to barricade myself inside. I continued ruining everything that was good about my house the next morning, just like interior designers born north of the 90s do on a daily basis.
Barricading these gives me actually like 3 XP, which is absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I didn't have any hopes my barricades would be strong, but if I couldn't go quality, then at least I hoped to go quantity. Alas, to do that, I needed to chop down a lot of trees, and to do that, I needed an axe, which I didn't have. So instead, I went to wash myself for the first time in 6 days, which is roughly on the same frequency as any male gaming convention visitor. I exercised, I learned how to craft a wooden trap on TV, and I barricaded my front door. On day 7, I decided to go look for an axe, and I had my eyes on a couple of sheds I could check. I found some fishing supplies before having to run for my life.
Oh, the streets! The streets are alive with zombies.
So I was back to my baiting ways. I pulled them much further up the street this time around, which turned out great.
Oh, I found a hatchet. Let's freaking go.
Somehow I found exactly what I needed while keeping Weakman alive, and just as I started celebrating, I heard it.
Oh fuck. I hear the helicopter. I hear the helicopter, no!
Good thing I was in the woods and not home. Bad thing, I was very tired already, and the Zeds still found me as easily as serial killers find their new victims, because the real serial killers these days are fast food vendors. Since I wasn't allowed to kill them, I had to outsneak them. Alas, having to stay in the forest until it was late meant I missed my evening TV show, losing out on very important foraging XP. At this point, I managed to survive a whole week without killing a single Zed, but to keep Weakman alive in long term, there were many serious challenges still ahead of me.
Lady, why exactly are you in front of my door? Let's get you somewhere safer.
Naturally, she was not the only one, because when the devil shits flies, we all get diarrhea. I looped the group down the street, trying to lose them around houses, fences, and trees, feeling more and more invincible with every step.
That zombie is thinking, why is he calling himself invincible if I can clearly see him?
I did eventually lose them in the woods. Alas, once I got back home, there were even more zombies on my street, and once I looped those around, I believed myself safe. But that was just as naive like believing anything paid video game reviewers write.
No, not my chicken coop. Come with me.
Sneaking around made Weakman incredibly tired, and as soon as I got a moment of respite, I grabbed it with my hands, my feet, and my penis. The neighborhood seemed much clearer the next morning, but there were always more zombies to pull.
Alright, you bastards. Let's do this again.
Since some of them were slower than your grandma after you take away her insulin pen, I had to do some risky moves to grab them all. But if Weakman could do one thing, he could grab an ass and then run for the trees. Alas, the Zed seemed glued to my street.
Why are you guys all so slow? Come on, follow me, you bastards. Let's get you out of here.
I was this close to grabbing my hammer and going ham on their hams, but I couldn't fail my challenge, and I knew in the end it would be all worth it.
It was all worth it. We got strength level 1 now. You'll love to see it.
I could now carry 1 more kilo of weight, and when you can only carry 6, going up to 7 is a huge deal. Alas, after barricading more of my windows, I noticed another huge deal.
Oh no, the water is out. Like on day 9? That is so way too soon.
There was nothing I could do about that for now, so I pushed that particular problem to the backlog, adding to the huge pile of other problems I'd need to fix soon, or risk failing my challenge. So I said fuck it, and I decided to do something about my withdrawal cramps that kept me up every night. There was a shop near the broken ambulance, and I decided to brave the hordes, which still took less bravery than shaking hands with the doctor that gave me colonoscopy.
Boys, let's see if I can at least get in. They have broken some of the windows. Doors blocked though.
There were too many on my ass, which funny enough is the same thing the doctor said.
Oh, that was stupid. That was stupid. Run, Weakman, run! Oh my god, how I survived this. Holy shit, not even a scratch.
I was somehow still alive, and for my stupidity, I was rewarded with a brief moment of peace to loot the shop. I found some food, a useful book, alas, no ciggies, and when I ran for it, I noticed this.
Can I get something else out of the ambulance? There's an ambulance key on the ground. I can't grab it right now.
That was definitely something I wanted to retrieve later, but for now, at least I had a fresh burger, which helped me push through copious amounts of physical pain. Since I still needed those cigarettes, I decided to do something very dangerous the next day. I knew there was a gas station in the walking distance of my house, and I went where no weak men boldly went before.
That's a barricaded house as well. That could have some really useful loot. I need to remember where this was.
But when I finally made it to the station, I was welcomed by more Zeds than a femboy in a male prison.
How the hell is so many of you at a gas station?
I tried baiting them into the woods, and then I used my superior sneaking skills to rush inside, where I was rewarded by 1 whole cigarillo before I had to escape. Since the streets were calm the next morning, I grabbed my hatchet and I put my newfound strength to the test.
Oh yeah, he's feeling tough, and he is already out of breath. Well, that was really fast.
Chopping down 2 trees completely drained Weakman, which was still better than being drained by a Gandalf-looking hobo for a $5. Now to actually build log walls, I needed rags, which were luckily easier to get as people turning into zombies forgot to empty their closets. I replaced the broken doors on the back wall, then this happened.
Oh shit, where the hell did you guys come from?
Soon 2 guys became 3, and then 4, and then, well, I'm sure you know how that X-rated movie goes. But Weakman didn't get F'd in the A. Instead, he went home to train, because I knew I had to get stronger before risking the outdoors again. So I ate healthy food, I got high on prescription medication, then I exercised some more, and with shaking legs, I did it.
Fitness level 1 as well. Oh, that is so huge.
Even though I was hurting bad, I decided to try the grocery store again on day 14, and I even had a chance to break into a couple of cars along the way. The usual Balkan shopping spree.
Man, this would be so much easier if we could just murder all these bastards.
I looped another horde further west, which allowed me another go at the store, and I came out loaded like a bandit.
Oh, let's see if I can get it. Oh yeah, ambulance key, let's go. One day, we'll use this car.
But today was not that day. Today was again an exercise day fueled by all the junk food I stole. My routine left me agitated and miserable, and it left me in a lot of pain. But I had painkillers to get high on and push through all that because, boys, don't let doctors and other medical professionals tell you doping is bad. We'll see who's the last man standing when zombie apocalypse hits and your heart can go 180 beats per minute when resting. I ate more junk food, got high again, and exercised even more until at last, late on day 17, I finally hit it.
You got this so close. Let's go. Level 2 strength. Oh, that is so amazing.
I could now carry up to 8 kilos, and Weakman was no longer puny, just weak. All that excessive exercise and extra fries left him in pretty bad shape, but without a little bit of pain, there could be no gain. You see, for when you pondered your orb, I was sharpening my hatchet, and while you were actually fighting zombies, I was swinging mad at that log. I sharpened and I chopped, I overdosed and I hurt, and when I baited, I noticed this.
Oh, that one dropped glasses. That might be exactly what I need.
Indeed, it was exactly what I needed to finally defeat Weakman's his inner Welma and further embrace the junkie member of Scoob's crew.
And now the moment of truth. Oh, we can see! Oh, we can see! Yes!
It only took me 19 days, but the world was no longer a fuzzy mess, and I celebrated this amazing feat by building new walls. I then noticed my chickens were going hungry, and naturally I couldn't let them starve because I was not an American politician in charge of urban development, and I took my friendly neighborhood zombies for a nice walk up north, where I then stole some animal feed from the two piggies who were more than happy to share their oats as long as I promised not to force them into the shed of no return. The street I lived on had 3 road exits, and I knew if I could barricade those, I'd be living safe. So I went to work again until my hatchet went James and Weakman's hands fell off.
Now it seemed I kinda really need to sharpen my blade after chopping down every tree, which again is incredibly stupid.
As Weakman stood there contemplating life, thinking about how much it sucks not to be allowed to murder anyone for weeks on end, he realized his real friends were the pills he ate all along. Embracing that truth allowed him to transcend every masturbator out there, and I knew he was now mentally ready for another long walk. I zoomed past zombies, I zoomed past wild chickens, I zoomed past a lot of wrecked cars, which was no surprise after seeing how many people stayed at the bar when a zombie apocalypse hit. But I shouldn't judge, I'm from the Balkans after all, and our national sport is drinking until the liver falls, right after football hooliganism.
I come here if you want to live, zombies. Follow me.
And so I led yet another station worth of Zeds into the trees and rushed in for a quickie. I found some food, I even found a generator magazine, but no ciggies, until I checked in the back.
Oh, let's freaking go. Finally got it. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, there's another one. Let's go. We can smoke now, boys.
Yelling that loud almost cost me my life, but I now had everything a man needs to survive another day. On day 23, I woke up for the first time without any moodles plaguing Weakman, which allowed me to go back to work. The days then all blended into each other. I chopped down trees, I built walls, I exercised, and I baited.
Add to the pile, boys. Add to the pile. Let's go.
I chopped down a lot more trees, I exercised even more, and I beefed up my walls with trash. When the electrical grid followed the way of the dodo on day 27, I didn't give up. No, I started cooking with gas. At this point, I was mostly living on junk food and eggs, and while I knew that wasn't exactly a sustainable way of life, Weakman was American after all, which meant he still had a lot of excess weight to lose. I kept on exercising daily, all the while wondering if there were any thick booty goth girls left in this world. My initial goal was to try and survive for a month as a pacifist, but like dick waving your neighbor until he leaves a shit sausage on your front porch, I now realized I can do better. Why survive 1 month only when I could go for 2? I knew there would be a lot more exercise, wood chopping, and building required, but I believed in Weakman, and if you believe in him too, subscribe now and let's do this together. By day 30, I barricaded the eastern entrance completely, which soon began attracting random zombies. But since we know predators move in flocks, just like child grooming YouTubers all know each other, those single wanderers brought friends. So I decided to do something about it, but to enact my plan, I needed a vehicle. That ambulance looked like my back after recording this video for 16 hours a day every day, but once I got it rolling, I was able to pull 2 broken wrecks in front of my barricades for added protection. My goal was to barricade the whole street, and I finally succeeded at that on day 41, leaving a tiny hole only for my future expeditions into the unknown, and I celebrated it with a classic Weakman haircut. But since zombies refused to respect my desire to be just left alone in my room jerking off and playing video games all day long and blaming my state of being on depression, I used my shitty ambulance for one final alpha move.
Come on, come on, let's go for an adventure.
I braved the streets again on day 46, and I broke into a nearby barricaded house that I spotted long time ago. It turned out to be a nice source of extra food and surprisingly alcohol as well. Combining booze with prescription medication made for a potent combo that Big Pharma would love if they still existed, but there's a good chance they were behind the zombie apocalypse anyway. Although let's be real, skibbity toilets were more likely to destroy the earth than zombies. But since there was never enough alcohol, no, I'm not addicted, I can stop whenever I want, go away mom. I decided to rob a liquor store next.
We're all lucky I'm not allowed to murder you. You know that, right? Stupid zombies.
But look, mom didn't raise a quitter, so I tried again. And again. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't know who she raised. I don't even recognize myself anymore. In any case, after one too many cold ones, I decided to have my revenge on that liquor store, and I started my own Disco Inferno. If any zombies burned, that was their own fault. Weakman did not kill them, the fire did. And we all know how that old song goes. At this point, the 2-month mark was fast approaching, and with it, the end of my mission. But but I decided to turn it up a notch and go for another month. Alas, Weakman was again living on eggs and junk food mostly, and every time I went out to find more food, I was risking his life, just like that time when I caused a citywide blackout by sticking my penis into a wall plug. So I decided to try farming, but the way farming works in Build 42, I was only about 2 months late with planting my crops. I also tried foraging, which definitely went better, but I mostly found bait instead of actual food, so I decided to try fishing. The new fishing minigame was designed to drive a man to drink, and luckily Wickman still had plenty of alcohol to go around. I did eventually catch a fish, but you know what they say, give Wickman a fish and he'll eat for a day. Teach him how to rob a liquor store and he'll drink for a month. After a while, I brought home a generator I found in one of the sheds not too far away from my home, just so I could refrigerate, well, nothing. My fridge was practically empty of perishables at this point. So I decided to finally break the promise I gave to my Oats brother, and I brought a piggy to the shed of no return. Alas, the results were pretty disappointing.
After all this work, all this danger, this is what you give me? You know what? Thanks for nothing, piggy.
The final week was rough, mostly because I ran out of alcohol and painkillers, but there were also positives, as Weakman grew almost strong enough to attempt climbing his escape rope. While he didn't quite beat his addiction to prescription meds, his diet turned out to be an amazing weight loss plan, and you're not going to believe tip number 6 because all the doctors now hate him. But there it was. I survived for 3 whole months without killing a single zombie, and I turned my neighborhood into a peaceful paradise. Thank you again to Warhammer 40,000 Tacticus for sponsoring this video. And guys, what are you waiting for? Download Tacticus now using my link in the description below and use promo code HelloFeb and play it while watching my next video.